Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to the channel where we meticulously track the most compelling and dramatic developments swirling around the British royal family. Today, we delve into a story of resilience, betrayal, and the ultimate struggle for self-preservation amidst devastating scandal. A struggle spearheaded by none other than the Duchess of York herself, Sarah Ferguson. Before we immerse ourselves in this extraordinary tale of a royal outcast fighting for her financial life, do remember to show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Your engagement ensures we can continue bringing you these detailed and exclusive insights into the world of the monarchy. We have witnessed the Duchess of York, affectionately known as Fergie, grappling with a succession of crushing reverses, events that have seemingly pulverized her long-held aspirations and hopes for a secure and dignified future. But now, reports suggest that she has made a profound decision. She is choosing to stand up for herself, no matter the cost, even if that means severing the fragile ties that bind her to her former husband, Prince Andrew. The road that led Sarah Ferguson to this dramatic precipice has been exceptionally turbulent, marked by public humiliation and association with one of the most infamous scandals in modern history. For those who may not be fully acquainted with the recent history, the Duchess of York found herself engulfed in a massive wave of public condemnation after an antiquated email exchange between herself and the disgraced, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was inadvertently exposed to the media. This revelation caused an immediate and ferocious uproar among the general public and within the sensitive corridors of the palace. This initial shockwave was only the beginning. Very shortly thereafter, even more disturbing and shocking specifics regarding Prince Andrew's deeply regrettable and infamous association with the pedophile Epstein dominated news headlines across the globe. The shadow cast by this friendship was long and dark, threatening to completely extinguish the already flickering public life of the Duke of York. The consequences for Prince Andrew, and by direct extension for Sarah Ferguson, were swift and crippling. On the date of October 17th, the 65-year-old member of the royal family, Prince Andrew, made a monumental announcement. He declared that he would formally cease the public use of his royal designation, the Duke of York. This decision, in itself a remarkable concession to the relentless pressure of public opinion and the severity of the allegations, carried an immense and tragic collateral consequence. It effectively signaled the definitive conclusion of the royal journey for Fergie. While Sarah and Andrew have famously maintained an unconventional but close relationship, continuing to reside together at Royal Lodge despite their divorce decades ago, the removal of Andrew's public title strips away the last vestiges of Sarah's own indirect royal standing and influence. This development leaves her exposed, vulnerable, and facing a deeply uncertain financial landscape. But Sarah Ferguson is not, as sources close to her confirm, the type of woman to accept defeat quietly. She has always possessed a remarkable, almost uncanny knack for self-preservation. Now, facing what insiders deem an existential threat to her security, she is reportedly ready to deploy her most powerful and potentially most destructive weapon, her story. According to explosive claims recently circulated by Radar Online, the mother of Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie is contemplating a highly provocative and frankly terrifying move for the monarchy. She might be preparing to appear in a high-profile, tell-all production for a streaming giant like Netflix. The very idea of Sarah Ferguson following the controversial yet financially successful path carved out by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is sending tremors of anxiety throughout the palace. The potential for a Duchess of York tell-all series, focusing not just on her own tumultuous life, but inevitably touching upon the inner workings and deep secrets of the royal family, including, crucially, the details surrounding Andrew's scandal, is understood to be profoundly threatening to the established order. The Netflix route is only one avenue of potential retaliation and financial recovery. It has also been revealed that the Duchess could be poised to pen a truly explosive, bombshell memoir. This book would not merely be a retrospective glance at her life. It would be designed to generate substantial income, potentially leaving Prince Andrew isolated and grappling with a burgeoning financial crisis of his own making. The contrast here is stark and deeply dramatic. Andrew, stripped of his public duties and reliant on private wealth, facing mounting legal and reputation management costs, and Sarah, leveraging her unique insider perspective to secure her financial future. A source, speaking on condition of anonymity due to the extreme sensitivity of the matter, shared a chillingly pragmatic assessment of the Duchess's current mindset. The insider stated unequivocally, Sarah has always known precisely how to look after herself. If she is compelled to choose between providing a shield for Andrew or protecting the integrity of her own future security, she will, without hesitation, put herself first. This is a critical pivot point in the decades-long, complicated saga of their relationship. For years, Sarah has been viewed as Andrew's steadfast, if sometimes eccentric ally, often defending him against public scrutiny. But the magnitude of the current scandal, coupled with the loss of the royal title, has apparently shifted the balance of power and loyalty decisively. The source elaborated further on the high stakes involved, adding a note of dramatic urgency to the situation. She fully comprehends that this latest iteration of the scandal has the very real potential to finish her off entirely, to destroy her public standing and her financial viability. And Sarah Ferguson is absolutely not the type of individual who will passively go down without mounting a ferocious fight. The implications of this determination are staggering. The Duchess is not just seeking a quiet retirement, she is actively seeking leverage. Her ultimate and potentially most destructive form of vengeance could manifest in several ways, all of which involve selling her unique knowledge for cash. The scenarios being discussed among those in the know are dramatic. The source suggests that if the path to securing a vital retirement fund requires cooperating with authorities or engaging in highly paid, tell-all productions, be they Netflix shows or books, to betray Andrew for the necessary cash, she will do it. Let us pause for a moment to fully absorb the weight of that statement. The Duchess of York, potentially collaborating with legal or investigative authorities, or publicly exposing deeply private details of Andrew's life, all for the sake of financial independence. This is not merely gossip. This is the potential for a seismic shift in the royal narrative. The historical context of Sarah Ferguson's financial life is crucial to understanding this desperate calculation. Despite her connection to the royal family, the Duchess has frequently faced financial difficulties throughout her adult life, a consequence of poor business decisions and the lack of a secure, guaranteed royal income stream following her divorce in '96. While Andrew's private wealth has traditionally offered a safety net, the current turmoil has presumably rendered that safety net unreliable, perhaps even non-existent, should Andrew's own resources be consumed by legal battles and ongoing reputation management costs. The motivation here is survival. Sarah is staring down the barrel of her later years without the protection of Andrew's titles or guaranteed royal patronage. The money generated from a major Netflix deal or a blockbuster memoir, the advances for such royal-adjacent works can easily reach into the tens of millions, would provide the essential financial buffer she requires to live out her life with dignity, entirely separate from the increasingly toxic environment surrounding her ex-husband. Furthermore, the public perception of Andrew has reached such a nadir that Sarah may feel she has nothing left to lose by distancing herself completely. By telling her side of the story, she could potentially perform a significant act of reputation laundering, presenting herself not as an enabler or a co-conspirator, but as a victim or a survivor who finally chose to speak her truth. Consider the template set by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Their deals with Netflix and their corresponding memoir, Spare, demonstrated the immense commercial value of a royal insider's perspective, even one that involves significant personal risk and familial friction. For Sarah Ferguson, who possesses decades of knowledge about the inner workings of the monarchy, from the time she married Andrew in 1986 through her tumultuous divorce, and her continued close relationship with the Queen and Prince Philip, her potential story is arguably even richer in historical detail and dramatic potential. She knows the secrets of Royal Lodge, the dynamics between the generations, and, most importantly, the private anguish and dealings surrounding Prince Andrew's fall from grace. If she chooses to weaponize this knowledge, the impact could be far more devastating than any previous royal exposé. The insider's choice of words, betray Andrew for cash, is intensely revealing. It suggests a zero-sum game. If Sarah secures her future, Andrew's standing and privacy will inevitably suffer further damage. This is the tragic culmination of years of scandal. The bond between two former spouses, who once stood united against the world, now fractured by the imperative of financial survival. The pressure on Sarah is twofold. First, the public scrutiny has not subsided, particularly following the initial email leak. Second, the financial clock is ticking. At this stage in her life, she needs a definitive, secure source of income. A high-profile media venture offers that security, but it demands transparency, or at least the appearance of transparency, regarding the events that have defined her life and Andrew's downfall. The royal family, already strained by the succession of crises and the loss of key working members, would undoubtedly view any such move by Fergie as a catastrophic breach of trust. They would recall the chaos caused by the Sussexes' ventures and fear a similar, perhaps even more detailed, dissection of private royal life. The difference here is that Sarah Ferguson has far less to lose in terms of royal status, making her a far more dangerous and less controllable entity. The Duchess of York is not simply seeking fame, she is securing her legacy and her pension. If the cost of that security is the final, definitive severing of her ties to Prince Andrew, and the public exposure of sensitive information, the sources suggest she is ready to pay that price. This is the ultimate fight for survival, waged by a woman who has spent decades walking the tightrope between royal acceptance and public condemnation. In summary, the recent abandonment of the Duke of York title by the 65-year-old Prince Andrew on October 17th has inadvertently triggered a desperate, high-stakes reaction from Sarah Ferguson. Facing a bleak financial future and the existential threat posed by the lingering Epstein scandal, she is reportedly preparing to unleash her ultimate weapon, a tell-all memoir or Netflix series. The message from the inner circle is clear. Sarah will choose self-preservation over loyalty to Andrew. If securing her retirement fund means cooperating with authorities or selling her story for a massive payday, regardless of the consequences for the father of her daughters, she is prepared to take that decisive and potentially devastating step. This is a defining moment in the modern history of the Duchess of York, transforming her from a beleaguered royal appendage into a formidable, independent force determined to secure her own destiny, even if it means confronting the man she has protected for so long. We are watching a dramatic play unfold, dear viewers, one where loyalty is traded for solvency and secrets are leveraged for security. What are your thoughts on this extraordinary turn of events? Do you believe Sarah Ferguson has a right to prioritize her own financial well-being, even if it means revealing uncomfortable truths about the royal family and Prince Andrew? Or do you believe she should maintain her decades-long allegiance? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth coverage of the royal family, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next celebrity update. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to reading your thoughts.